It's been a few weeks now since I started this YouTube adventure, and I've been very lucky that you seem to have been responding very well to everything that I've been posting. So I want to start off by saying thank you for everything, for every comment, for every like, for every view, and of course, subscribing to the channel if you've done so. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted interaction. I wanted to be back in the community, sharing and just having a good time. I think it's also become very obvious that I'm a big fan of this franchise. I love all four games for different reasons and different moments, different characters, lots. And to be honest, there's things I really miss from all first three games. So the feedback from the channel and my love of The Sims combined have led me to think of a bigger project. So I want to create a multiverse of The Sims games. I want to take elements from all three previous games and bring them to The Sims 4. And certain family trees definitely being recreated, and of course, some of the most iconic lots. I sort of did this a little bit already by bringing back the Pleasant View apartments to Oasis Springs. So my plan is to take exactly the same approach, not to create replicas, but instead reinterpretations of these builds and these families, taking full advantage of all the tools that The Sims 4 has given us. And since I already built the apartments for the Calientes and Don Lothario, I thought it was only fair to start with them. So I'm going to jump into the game now and show you what I did with their families and what you can expect to see on my gallery. To start off, I'm going to show you the Lothario family because they're a little bit easier to grasp because it's just three of them. So in the middle, you have Don, and then on either side, you have his parents, Nicolo and Adriana. And just to give you some context over how I created them, so they are heavily based on The Sims 2, all three of them. So in the Sims 2 timeline, and according to Don's memories in the game, both of his parents passed away shortly after he became an adult. Now, they were both elders at the time of their passing. So for The Sims 4, since we have the young adult life stage, I decided to put both his parents as adults. However, they were just a few days away from becoming elders. So in case you want to play with a full family and just let things run their course, the timeline sort of fits that they will both pass away around the time that Dawn becomes an adult. Of course, you can decide to not play with them. Of course, you can decide to maybe give them a more tragic ending on this version. That's completely up to you. But I also wanted to make sure that there was sort of a timeline going for things to naturally progress. Now I'm going to pop into Cass and just show you a little bit more details about each one of them. So this is Nicolo, Don's father. He had a very similar look to Don in The Sims 2, so I give him exactly the same vibes. The only difference is that he had sunglasses on for some reason, which I found it weird to keep in The Sims 4. In The Sims 2, since he's already deceased, it doesn't really matter because all you see is a picture of him in the family tree. But for this version, since you might want to play with him, I felt like it was a little bit strange to keep them, so I opted out of that. But aside from that, his features are very similar to what he had in The Sims 2. I also made sure to give him an outfit for every category, just so he's ready to play if you want to. Nothing too complicated, but just enough to get you started. And of course, if you want, you can always change it. Now, this is Dawn's mother, Adriana. Just like her husband, her features are very similar to the pictures that we have of them in The Sims 2. She also has an outfit for every category, and in case it's not clear yet, both of them are base game only, so they don't use any packs. I just wanted to make sure they were easy to download in case you wanted to add them to your game and mix them with the Dawn that is in The Sims 4, or of course, if you want to play with my full version. Now, with Dawn, I took a little bit of a different approach. So I used some packs, mostly his Casanova kit, but just to make sure that you can still play with him no matter what, in case you don't have any of the expansions I used, or if you just have the base game, I made sure to give him a second outfit for every single category. So the first outfit will be the one that uses every single pack, whatever I found that was better suited for this version of Dawn that I had envisioned. But the second outfit will be fully base game. In the case of his everyday outfit, it's very heavily inspired by The Sims 2, and all of his other outfits are just things that I thought would suit him and his personality. In the case of the athletic wear, I tried to keep it very close. In the sleepwear, I gave him a little bit of a funny nod to The Sims 2 and to the whole franchise with the hearts on his boxers. I went for a similar style in his party wear. Swimwear, luckily now we have a chain in the base game as well, so I was able to use it instead of the one from his kit. He has the hot weather outfit, which is definitely a little bit more out there with the open shirt. And then his cold outfit, I didn't give him a look of something that Felt very, very cold weather because I built his apartment in Oasis Springs. You know, it's never super cold there. It never snows in that world. So I just gave him something that was almost like a fall outfit, and that's it. But of course, if you want to move on to another world or take him skiing or whatever, you can always give him a tougher winter wear if you feel like it. But he's ready to go with two outfits just in case. I'm really happy with this version of Dawn. Of course, I'm a little bit biased because I made him, but I made sure to give him enough character and background to make him feel more authentic and more like a character that you don't exactly start playing day one. Like they already in the game, they already have history, and you're just finding him in the timeline, you know, at the exact right spot. So he has the bro, the romantic, and the non-committal traits. He has the bodybuilder aspiration. I made sure to give him some attractions. I made sure to give him some relationship boundaries. He has milestones. He has lifestyle traits. There's plenty of little details for you to discover. I'm not going to spoil anything. The only thing that I will share is that he is in the fitness career because he wants to be a bodybuilder and he's no longer at the first stage at the career. He's been promoted a few times and he has a few skills to start with. So, again, just to make it feel like he's lived, you know, he's been around the world for a while. You just haven't found him until now. So now let's move on to the Caliente family. Now in front we have Tina, Nina, their father Flamenco, their mother Nagat, not Katrina, and then their grandparents, which is a little bit more of a messy story. So in the Sims 2 timeline, both Nina and Nina are actually descendants of aliens. That is because their father, Flamenco, is actually the result of a pregnancy between his human Sim father and his alien Sim father. So technically, the twins are one quarter alien. And in my version, I definitely made them look like twins. So they have exactly the same features. That's the story from The Sims 2. In The Sims 4, they somehow look very different, especially in the first version that they came into the game as. Now they're slightly more similar, but they're still very distinct. So they look more like sisters and less like twins. And I wanted to make sure that they were exact replicas of each other in terms of features. Then, in terms of personality, hair color, that is different and they're distinct individuals. But in terms of facial features, they look exactly the same. Like Dawn, I made sure to give Nina and Dina enough of a backstory and details. Both Nina and Dina have careers and they're not at the early stage. Dina is in public relations, and then Nina is in mixology. Now I'm going to pop into CAS and show you a little bit more detail of each of these Sims. So let's start off with the older generations. So this is their grandfather, Nestor. This is their technically adopted grandmother, Dulcinea, their father, Flamenco, and their mother, Nagat. Because there's no way that Katrina is their mother, so bye-bye, imposter. I don't want you in my game. So as I did for Dawn's parents, each of these older generations are just base game, and each of them have an outfit for every category. Grandma might not have given birth to their father, but she also has an outfit in each of the categories. Their father also has a bit of everything, and his features are very much based off what we know from The Sims 2. He, like Dawn's father, also had sunglasses in the family tree picture, but in this case, I just decided to give him regular glasses, so, you know, something is kept, but not exactly the sunglasses for everyday, all the time outfit. Their father is, again, only base game. Their mother, however, is not, the only exception being the hair. I really wanted her to have some gray hairs as well. And we only have sort of the older aged hair in brown and black. And I really wanted her to have the grays. So I gave her this hairstyle from Growing Together. However, just to make sure that she's, again, base game compatible, she has a different outfit in every category. She looks exactly the same, except for the hair, which I gave her this option. In the pictures that we have of her in The Sims 2, she has short hair. So both of these I felt suited her and sort of her history. As I mentioned, I also included their grandfather. Now, you might look at him and find that maybe there's something a little bit strange. He's their grandfather, but he looks young. Yep, he is. He's a young adult, actually. Of course, I had to manipulate some things to make this happen. Although there's no CC, it's just the way it is. I made him a young adult just because I wanted to just give more of an alien slash different vibe to it. So in my eyes, the aliens age slower than the human Sims. It's not that he is immortal, he just has a longer lifespan. This is not achievable of just giving him a larger lifespan. Instead, I made him not age. So no matter if you play, he will remain the same. Again, he's not immortal, so he's still able to die, just not age. His outfits are exactly the same thing for every single category, although I made every other sim still base game compatible. Of course, aliens only come in Get to Work, so you'll need Get to Work to play with this version and their full ancestry. Now for the main show, let's go and check out Nina. So, as I mentioned before, both Nina and Dina are exact replicas when it comes to their facial features. But of course, everything else is different. So, the hairstyle, the clothing, the makeup, everything is adjusted to every single one of them, as well as their traits, their milestones. Those are all a little bit mixed and matched. So, they have some things in common because they're twins, but some others are not because they're individuals. In the case of the girls, I really used a lot of packs, and I'm sorry in advance. But I was just trying to find things that I found that fitted their personality or the outfit that I wanted to create. So I wasn't really looking at each expansion pack that I was using or kit or whatever. However, they still have their base game version in every category. So you can always mix and match if you have a few of the expansions that I used. Or, of course, if you only have base game, you can still download them and play with them. So here's her formal outfit, athletic wear, sleepwear, party wear, swimsuit, hot weather, and then cold weather. Kind of like Dawn, I didn't give them a super cold outfit. They do have a beanie because, style and stuff, but they don't look like they're ready to go to Mount Komburebi. Now, of course, for Dina, I used her iconic dress, which just came back with the anniversary event. And you might notice that I gave her the same hair that I gave Nina in the base game version. This is because I truly feel like this is the hair that suits her best, but because I wanted to have the base game alternative and I didn't want them to look exactly the same, Dina in her base game outfits has a different hairstyle that I still feel like it suits her. It's just not the perfect match in my eyes. Dina, in terms of her everyday outfit, is very similar. Just a few accessories changed, but since the dress is base game, that doesn't change much. Formal wear is already quite different. Then athletic wear, sleepwear, party wear, which quite frankly, I love both of them. Our swimwear, hot weather, in which her base game version is quite basic, I'm afraid to say. And then her cold wear is a little bit more detailed. I also like this base game version outfit. I still think it's interesting and stylish, but I still feel like this one is a cooler look. That was sort of important to me because I feel like the twins are very fun-loving Sims and also, quite stylish and cool. So I wanted to make sure that their outfits kind of reflected that as much as possible. And just so you see that, in fact, everything that I was telling you about is actually functional. When you go into the family tree, you can see that Flamenco is actually the son of Pollination Technician 7 and Nestor, but he's still connected to his stepmother. And of course, that makes Nina and Dina be the grandchildren to Pollination Technician 7, and Nestor, not so much connected to poor old Wema, not directly, but in the game they can have a good relationship if you want. Although, fair warning, I did give them a very short timeline because, again, they're supposed to be much elder Sims compared to Nina and Nina. All right. I hope you like the updated modern versions of the Lothario family and the Caliente family. As I said, they are up on my gallery right now, so you can go download them if you're interested. If you don't have any interest in playing with the older generations or keeping the family tree, you can just delete them in Create a Sim. I personally like to give all of the ancestry to my Sims. It just makes it feel more real and also connected to the other games. Obviously, that's why I'm taking this approach. I hope you're excited by this announcement and this idea. This is definitely something you can expect from my channel moving forward. That's not all I'll be doing, but it will be the main focus for my content. Please let me know what you think in the comments here or in the gallery. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.